First of all, it was very hard for Vice President Biden to get a word in edgewise. President Trump tried to cut him off all the time, but I think Vice President Biden was quite forceful, and he was quite clear about the kinds of plans that he has for the future of the United States. It certainly is good to have plans, because that's something that's been lacking for the last 4 years.
Okay, Marc, Zell?
Well, I got to take my mask off here. First, a little bit of campaign propaganda. Anyway, I had this comment about Biden's plans very interesting, because I didn't hear any plans. I mean, we heard a lot of kind of hackneyed rhetoric. But I think what the public saw between all of the barbed interchanges was a president who's determined, energetic, with clear plans, with clear accomplishments, which he, I think, very effectively portrayed during the debate, and the Democratic candidate who was very nebulous about when he was asked, for example, what is this new Green Deal that you're going to? What exactly are you going to do? And Chris Wallace asked him about that plan, which the president said was going to cost $100 trillion. Biden says, "Well, I got the Biden plan." So that was very very characteristic of his remarks throughout the debate. There was a lot of caustic interchange, okay. but when it came to substance, very little on the Democratic side.
You were happy with the performance by Trump. Let's take a listen to some of the highlights from last night.
Let's see how you picked them out, how you selected them.
That's always interesting, isn't it, Mr. Zell? Okay. Trust us, we did a very good job.
Okay.
Let's start with hearing what the candidate and President Trump had to say about election fraud in the U.S.
I hope it's going to be a fair election. If it's a fair election, I am 100% on board. But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that.
The fact is, I will accept it, and he will too. You know why? Because once the winner is declared, after all the ballots are counted, all the votes are counted, that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end of it. And if it's me, in fact, fine. If it's not me, I'll support the outcome. And I'll be a president not just for the Democrats. I'll be a president for Democrats and Republicans. And this guy,
I want to see an honest ballot cut.
Gentlemen,
you didn't think we should have closed our country because you thought it was terrible. You wouldn't have closed it for another 2 months. By my doing it early, in fact, Dr. Fauci said, President Trump saved thousands of lives. The governors said I did a phenomenal job. Most of them said that. We got the gowns, we got the masks, we made the ventilators. You wouldn't have made ventilators. And now we're weeks away from a vaccine. We're doing therapeutics already. Fewer people are dying when they get sick. Far fewer people are dying. You could never have done the job that we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job.
Look, you folks at home, how many of you got up this morning and had an empty chair at the kitchen table because someone died of COVID? How many of you were in a situation where you lost your mom or dad and you couldn't even speak to them? You had a nurse holding a phone up so you could, in fact, say goodbye.
You would have lost far more people. More people.
And
you would have been.
And by the way, his own. A lot of people died, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
Mr. President.
Okay, Heather, we'll start with you again. We heard comments, of course, both about election fraud or potential fraud, and then about COVID-19. Let's start with election fraud. Is it a real issue?
Election fraud with mail-in ballots?
No.
No, it is not a real issue, and that has been completely debunked. And it is absolutely outrageous that President Trump keeps trying to raise this as an issue, and his outrageous behavior during the debate is just trying to sow chaos.
Mm-hmm. Mark, speaking
well, we couldn't be more different on
outrageous,
this issue. Yeah, I have to tell you.
It seemed like President Trump didn't really let his opponents speak throughout the night, which is very much typical of the president. Do you think it was a good job at this point in time, behaving in that manner?
Let's talk about election fraud.
Yeah.
Okay, that was your question. Okay.
Well,
so
Heather was referring to the way.
Heather says it's completely debunked, and I want to just to tell the viewers that that's a bunch of bunk, because we just see it, and the president referred to it, the New York primary election, right? With Congressman Maloney's race against a progressive challenger in Manhattan, even to this moment is in doubt because of mail-in voting problems. And now we saw in Patterson, New Jersey, the municipal election, okay? And the president pointed out that mail-in votes in Pennsylvania were dumped into a trash basket. And in California, whole canisters or bins of Trump votes were thrown into a
Those
ravine.
Are allegations that have not been proven, and they are not
proven. Heather, you have there's videos of these, there's pictures of these things. Okay, not proven. Of course, it's been proven. Now, and it makes a lot of sense. You're talking about. Look, we abroad, Heather and I are along with 9 other million Americans are living overseas, and we vote by absentee ballot. When we vote by absentee ballot, we've got to go through a process. The president referred to it last night as solicited ballots. We have to ask for the ballots, and when we ask for the ballots, we have to prove our identity in every state in which and so the safeguards are there. With these ballots that we're talking about now, they're being mailed by the millions unsolicited. People are getting 2-3 ballots per family, and people are getting them for people that are dead and buried. Okay,
what can be done?
Come on, it's an open invitation to vote.
First of all,
simply not true.
What can be
It's not
done?
true that not getting multiple ballots, Heather?
It is not true.
Marc, Zell, Heather, what can be done to tackle the issue?
In my view, it's a very simple.
The process
vote
is the
in
same.
person.
It is
Vote
the same.
in
You either
person.
request a ballot. You either request a ballot, the same as we are requesting
Even
ballots
during
from overseas,
COVID-19, you would call on people to go vote in person?
Or you are in a state like Washington State where everyone votes by mail. And everyone who is a registered voter gets a ballot without having to request one.
Well, look, those of us who've gone through this process of having to get registered and request ballots know what a process that is. And I don't have any problems, by the way, if the solution is to send ballots to people that request them, fine. Okay, the president has no problem with that either.
So what if the outcome will be the president elect will be Joe Biden? Trump is basically saying he will not respect the outcome?
No, that's not what he said at all. He said the exact opposite.
Then why won't he say that he'll respect the outcome of the election?
What he said is very, very. He says he'll respect the outcome, but he
No,
has.
he didn't.
Yes, he did. But he has to see that the count is fair, that the voting was fair, and that's a natural thing. That's what we have processes for, and we're gonna be in
He's sowing doubt and chaos by alleging that the voting is unfair.
Okay. But I want to move on to the next issue because
Sure.
we've spent enough time on this. President was also asked about the new reports regarding his tax evasion. The New York Times published that in the last few days. He was asked about how much tax exactly he paid in 2016 and 2017. Also some comments from Biden on that. Let's take a listen.
Look, the tax code that made him put him in a position that he pays less tax than a school teacher makes on the money a school teacher makes is because of him he says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code, and he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts, and I'm going to eliminate those tax cuts and make sure that we invest in the people who in fact need the help. People out there need help.
But why didn't you do it over the last 25 years?
Because you weren't president. Because you weren't president screwing things up.
You were a senator.
You're the worst president America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just tell you, Joe. I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe.
Okay, Marc Zell, it's not the first time that Trump is being accused of tax evasion and generally.
Whoa. Excuse me, Ariel. He's never been accused.
Well, he has been accused of not paying enough tax for a lot of his businesses
that's a big difference.
In the past.
Okay. Please.
Let's
get that straight.
Tax issues.
So the question
regarding his business and his personal.
That's right. And what he said was, I paid millions of dollars worth of taxes. Okay.
Yeah, but that's a president that would not reveal his earnings. He would not reveal a lot to the IRA that previous presidents have.
Excuse me. Okay. First of all, to the IRS, he's revealed everything.
The IRS, I'm sorry.
I think that's what you meant, right?
Sorry.
So he's revealed
Watching
everything.
Peaky Blinders
In fact, he has a picture of his desk in 2015 filing his IRS returns. It's a stack of papers yay high. Okay. So there's no question about tax evasion or anything like that. The president has come full clean to the IRS, and he's doing exactly what every businessman and every taxpayer in the United States that has to itemize his returns does. He takes the deductions that he's entitled to under law. Nothing illegal about it. Even the New York Times article that you talked about, acknowledged the fact that in 2016 and 17 he transferred to the Treasury millions and millions of dollars. Remember, this is a president who every quarter donates his salary to the U.S. government.
He will not disclose his tax returns to the public, like every other president and presidential candidate has. That is what is distinct.
Every other president wasn't a businessman like he was.
Okay, let's let Heather finish her sentence.
We've had businessmen who have been presidents, and we've had businessmen who have run for president, okay? And Jimmy Carter was a businessman, and he divested of his business, okay? Don't try to hold him up as being some sort of big, distinct person, okay? He just decided that the rules don't apply to him, and that rules don't apply, and that he can make up his own rules. And for that, he's breaking down all the norms, and it just is horrid what he's doing, breaking our society apart.
Okay, Heather, one more word for you. We mentioned how Trump was really rallying and didn't make much room didn't leave much room for Biden. Did you feel that Biden did well for his voters? Very briefly.
I think he did well for his voters, and I think that he spoke directly to the voters and spoke to them about voting. He spoke to them about the importance of being the ones who decide what happens in a democracy.
Okay.